I'm Romy Monyarazi, and I'm pleased to share with you your guide to adulting. I wrote this book to synthesize all of what I've learned over the past 20 years about the transition to adulthood. Many of you must be wondering, how can you possibly summarize that in one book? It's a tall order, but I did try. There are 25 chapters in this book that speak to the core mental models that young people need to be able to make good decisions as they navigate the transition out of high school and into independent living. I don't claim to answer every single question that a young person has, but I aim to equip them with the tools of how to problem solve and think critically so that they are empowered to make good decisions. Let's take a look at the sections that underpin all of this knowledge I'm talking about. There's the first section, which is called Creating a Vision for Your Life. We unpack what it is to have a vision, how to defend that vision, because whether it's young people talking to their parents or educators, they might have to back really hard to be able to convince others around them to support their ideas. If we're being honest as well, sometimes low grades get in the way of us pursuing our vision. As a young person at 18, are you meant to give up? No. Fight for your dreams, but have a strategy as you do so. We look at imposter syndrome, because even when you have a vision, sometimes we don't know how to show up. There are voices in our heads that tell us that we don't belong, but of course you do. I help you work through that. The second section is about sustaining your vision. Okay, you have an idea, you started, but how do you continue? Adulting is made so difficult by one of the things we have to understand. Starting, you don't get brownie points for starting. The results come from staying in the game and completing, right? So what are the things that help us do that? We need to know how to regularly refresh, reflect, and reset, i.e. understand what you're doing wrong if things are not working out, and be able to course correct so you get the results you want. Understand how to deal with uncertainty. This is the life we live. Things are not stable. Anyone coming through COVID understands what I mean. Taking a gap year. Sometimes you have a vision, but how do you make sure that even if there are times when you're not actively working on your vision, you can still get life into it? First year on campus. Okay, university is not the same as high school. How do you navigate this new environment and understand what it requires of you? I also look at how you can identify mentors on campus and how to create new routines. Because once you leave school, that structure that you've been inculcated in over 13 years, it's disappeared. Now you must parent yourself. But the good thing is, there are frameworks on how to do this. The third section is about getting value for your time. Many of us struggle with university and other tertiary qualifications because we use study tips that worked when we're dealing with less complicated information and lower volume. How do you ramp up your study tips to match this new phase? We also look at time management. Not everything that's urgent is important. I help you prioritize what should be done. Procrastination. I know this is going to touch someone in their studio. Not everyone gets done what's important at the right phase. And I want you to understand how to identify why you're procrastinating so that you don't continue doing that, especially in the things that genuinely matter. Goal setting. How do you know what you want when you can have anything? And then I also touch on topics that are a bit nuanced. Getting value for your time also means that even if you have good grades, you must know how to project your personal brand, because your grades don't speak for you, you do. You have to be able to package your grades into something that interviewers care about. And then there's networking, right? Again, even when you have good grades, you need people to give you an opportunity. In the fourth section, we talk about investing in yourself. This leans heavily on the importance of continuous learning. How do you identify what you should be learning outside of the classroom? What makes you a better human? What makes you understand your health, your spiritual well-being, and your other interests in life beyond academics? Fifth, we look at relationships. And this goes beyond friendships, dating relationships. It also takes a look at how you relate to your parents and your siblings. It is crucial to have healthy relationships. No one thrives on their own. Even if you're thinking about having an extensive network, you need to have good communication to sustain those. And this book has the tools you need around communication. I also tackle tough topics like how to have the difficult conversations that many of us want to avoid. We can't go through life ghosting one another or just unsubscribing or unfollowing. We must engage, and we must engage constructively. I wrap up the book by looking at my top 10 takeaways of what you need to get right. Like if you fail at everything else, or if you struggle with everything else, what are the top 10 tips that I want you to take away? There's so many diverse things that I cover. Like I said, it's 25 chapters. I've just skimmed over all of them. But I hope that you engage with this book with a mindset of positivity. Adulting gets tough when even you give up on your dreams. And you'll get to a point where you realize that you have to want your success for you, not to make anyone else happy, not to make anyone else proud, but because you believe in what you're working on. It's going to get hard, but believe that things will work out for the good. But for things to work out, you need a plan. And this book will help you activate that.